Throughout English history, not many were more scandalous and rogue than Colonel Blood. Even his name brings thoughts of notoriety to mind. He became known as the man who stole the crown jewels, and on this day, May 9th, 1671, he was caught running away with the crown jewels of England and Scotland at the main gate of the Tower of London. His story of how he got to this point is equally, if not more, remarkable. Born Thomas Blood in 1618 in Ireland, he was the son of a prosperous blacksmith, and his grandfather was a respected member of Parliament. He hailed from a respectable family, a fact that makes his later actions all the more intriguing. In 1642, the English Civil War broke out, and at 24 years of age, he went to England to join the fight in favor of King Charles I. When it became evident that Cromwell and the Roundheads would win, he switched sides and was made a lieutenant. In 1653, Cromwell appointed Lieutenant Blood as Justice of the Peace and rewarded him with a large estate for his loyalty. In 1660, Charles II took back the throne, and Blood fled to Ireland with his wife and son, where he and a group of Cromwellians attempted to take the governor, Lord Ormond, in Dublin Castle hostage. This didn't work out, so he had to flee to Holland, a wanted man with a price on his head. But that didn't stop him from returning to England under the assumed name Dr. Iloff, where he practiced medicine in Rumford. He took part in another failed attempt to kidnap Lord Ormond, narrowly escaping capture, and that's when he decided to steal the crown jewels. The crown jewels were kept in the basement of the Tower of London and protected by metal bars. A keeper of the jewels named Talbot Edwards lived on the floor above the basement with his family, and so Blood devised a plan. So one day in 1671, Blood disguised himself as a parson. A parson is a member of the clergy, most likely the vicar, and Blood went to see the crown jewels and became friendly with Edwards. He returned later with his wife, and the two families became close friends, frequently meeting. Blood even proposed his supposed nephew meet Edwards' daughter, to which Edwards agreed. On the morning of May 9th, 1671, Parson Blood arrived with his nephew and two other men. While his nephew was getting to know Edwards' daughter, Blood and company asked to see the crown jewels, to which Edwards agreed. After they had descended to the basement and Edwards opened the door, Blood knocked Edwards unconscious with a mallet and then stabbed him with a sword. Blood and his accomplices took the crown, which they flattened with a mallet, probably the same mallet that they hit Edwards over the head with, and the royal orb and scepter. Blood then shoved down his pants the scepter, but it proved too long, and so one of Blood's accomplices, who was his brother-in-law named Mr. Hunt, tried to saw the scepter in half. While Blood and company were busy preparing the jewels for flight, Edwards regained consciousness and started shouting, "Murder! Treason!" at the top of his lungs. They dropped the scepter and tried to get away, heading for the main gate of the tower, at which point Blood tried to shoot one of the guards, but his pistol misfired. Once in custody, Blood refused to answer questions, stating that he would only answer to the king himself. Blood was taken to the palace, where he was questioned by King Charles, Prince Rupert, the Duke of York, and other royal family members. Blood told King Charles that the crown jewels weren't worth the £100,000 that they were thought to be, but only worth about £6,000. And so the king asked Blood, "What if I should give you your life?" To which Blood humbly answered, "I would endeavor to deserve it, sire." At which point, stunningly, Blood was pardoned. Not only was he pardoned, but he was given lands in Ireland worth £500 a year, and he became a familiar figure in the court, visiting often. Edwards recovered from his wounds and was rewarded by the king, and would recount his part in the jewelry theft to anyone who visited the tower. Blood's amazing story comes to an end in 1680 when he passed at the age of 62 on August 24th of that year.